Okay. Hey y'all. So jumping right in. Today we are reading chapters 25 to 31. Okay, so we're ending Proverbs. So we're ending Proverbs and I have choir rehearsal today. So what I might do, I might just end Proverbs and not go to Ecclesiastes. So that might be the vibe for right now. So I just wanted to let y'all know that. Do you hear me? I just wanted to let y'all know that. So with that being said, we're gonna read chapters 25 to 31 of Proverbs. And then I'm gonna get up and go to choir. I might get back on here. Hey, I might get back on here later, but I don't think so. I think I'm gonna just make it up another time. So let's just end Proverbs today and go about our business. Okay. So Lord, thank you so much for another day. Thank you so much for friendships and relationships and people that push us closer to Christ. Thank you for people that bring us back down to earth when we are just doing too much. Um, we always want, or me, I've always thought about like you speaking to me through a burning bush experience. And as I believe in those, Lord, you have just shown me like everyday people are your people and that you speak to me in different ways. So Lord, I thank you for that. I pray that this word be good. I pray that it touches whoever is watching on TikTok and on YouTube. And I love you, Lord. And I pray that you just show me something in your word today. And in my pray, amen. Okay, so chapters 25 to 31, that's what we're reading. And as always, stay to the end if you want prayer, or you can just put them in the comment section now, and I will pray them. So, chapter 25, behavior in public life. These are also proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, the king of Judah, copied. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glories of kings to search out a matter. As the heavens for height and the earth for depth, so the heart of kings is unsearchable. Take away the dross from silver, and it will go to the silversmith for jewelry. Take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne will be established in righteousness. Do not exalt yourself in the presence of a king. And do not stand in the place of a great. For it is better that he say to you, come up here, than you should be put lower in the presence of a prince whom your eyes have seen. Do not go hastily to court, for what will you do in the end when your neighbor has put you to shame? Debate your case with your neighbor and do not disclose the secret to another, lest he who hears it exposes your shame and your reputation be ruined. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in settings of silver, like an earring of gold and an ornament of fine gold, is a wise rebuker to an obedient ear. Like the cold of snow in time of harvest is a faithful messenger to those who send him, for he refreshes the soul of his masters. Whoever falsely boasts of giving is like clouds and wind without rain. By longing forbearance, a ruler is persuaded, and a gentle tongue breaks a bone. Have you ever found honey? Eat only as much as you need, lest you be filled with it and vomit. Seldom set foot in your neighbor's house, lest he become weary of you and hate you. A man who bears false witness against his neighbor is like a club, a sword, and a sharp arrow. Confidence in an unfaithful man in a time of trouble is like a bad tooth and a foot out of joint. Like one who takes away garment in cold weather, and like vinegar on soda is one who sings songs to a heavy heart. If your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he is thirsty, give him water to drink. For so you will heap coals of fire on his head, and the Lord will reward you. The north wind brings forth rain, and the backbiting tongue an angry countenance. It is better to dwell in the corner of a housetop than a house shared with a contentious woman. As cold water to a weary soul, so is good news from a far country. A righteous man who falters before the wicked is like a murky spring and polluted well. It is not good to eat much honey, so to seek one's own glory is not. So to seek one's own glory is not glory. Whoever has no rule over his own spirit is like a city broken down without walls. Chapter 26, warnings about foolish and lazy. As snow in the summer and rain in the harvest, so honor is not fitting for a fool. Like a flitting sparrow, like a flying swallow, so a curse without cause shall not alight. A whip for the horse, and a bridle for the donkey, and a rod for the fool's back. Do not answer a fool according to his folly. I need to take the time off of TikTok on my phone. Okay. Are we back on here? Yeah. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, lest you also be like him. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. He who sends a message by the hand of a fool cut off his own feet and drinks violence, like the legs of the lame that hang limp, is a proverb in the mouth of fools. Like one who binds a stone with a sling is he who gives honor to a fool. Like thorns that goes into the hands of a drunkard is a proverb in the mouth of fools. The great God who formed everything gives a fool his hire and transgressor his wages. As a dog returns to his own vomit, so a fool repeats his folly. Do you see a man wise in his own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for him. Wow. Do you see a man wise in his own eyes? What does that mean? We can think that we're wise and there's no hope. There's more hope for a fool because he knows he's a fool than a man who thinks that he's wise. More hope for one who knows he is a fool than somebody who thinks that they're wise. That's good. The lazy man says, there is a lion in the road, a fierce lion is in the street. As a door turns on his hinges, so does a lazy man on his bed. The lazy man buries his hands in a bowl. It wearies him to bring it back to his own mouth. The lazy man is wiser in his own eyes than seven men who can answer sensibly. He who passes by and meddles in the quarrel, not his own, is like one who takes a dog by the ears. Like a madman who throws firebrands, arrows, and death is a man who deceives his neighbor and says, "I was only joking." Yo, you ever been with your friend and they say something real out of pocket and be like, "I was just playing"? That come from the Bible. Where there is no wood, the fire goes out, and where there is no talebearer, strife ceases. As charcoal is to burning coals, and wood to fire, so is a contentious man to kindle strife. The words of a talebearer are like tasty trifles. They go down into the inmost body. Fervent lips with a wicked heart are like earthen word covered with silver dross. He who hates disguises it with his lips and lays up deceit within himself. When he speaks kindly, do not believe him, for there are seven abominations in his heart. Though his hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness will be revealed before the assembly. Whoever digs a pit will fall into it, and he who rolls a stone will have it roll back on him. A lying tongue hates those who are crushed by it, and flattering mouth works ruin. Here we go again with the tongue. Proverbs really hones down on the words and the tongue. Chapter 27, Wisdom for Living. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring forth. Let another man praise you and not your own mouth, a stranger and not your own lips. A stone is heavy and sand is weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than both of them. Wrath is cruel and anger is torrent, but who will be able to stand before jealousy? Open rebuke is better than love carefully concealed. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. A satisfied soul loathes the honeycomb, but to a hungry soul every bitter thing is sweet. Like a bird that wanders from its nest is a man who wanders from his place. Ointment and perfume delight the heart, and the sweetness of a man's friend gives delight by the hearty counsel. Do not forsake your own friend or your father's friend, nor go to your brother's house in the day of your calamity. Better is a neighbor nearby than a brother far away. My son, be wise and make my heart glad that I may answer him who reproaches me. A prudent man foresees evil and hides himself. A simple one passing on are punished. Take the garment of him who is a surety for a stranger and holding a pledge, and he is a surety for the seductress. He who blesses his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it will be counted a curse to him. That's saying like don't be trying to bless your friend all outwardly. Don't try to do good things outwardly because it's gonna be a curse to you because you want that glory. A continual dripping on a very rainy day, and a contentious woman are alike. Whoever restrains her restrains the wind, and grasps wood with his right hand. As iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. Whoever keeps the fig tree will eat its fruit, so he who waits on his master will be honored. As water in the face, as as in water reflects, as in water face reflects face, so a man's heart reveals the man. Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of men are never satisfied. That's good. The refining pot is for silver and the furnace for gold, and a man is valued by what others say of him. Though you grind a fool in a mortar with a pestle along the crushed grain, yet his foolishness does not depart from him. Be diligent to know the state of your flocks and attend to your herds, for riches are not forever, nor does a crown endure all generations. When the hay is removed and the tender grass shows itself, the herbs of the mountains are gathered in. The lambs will provide your clothing, and the goats the price of a field. You shall have enough goat's milk for your food, and for the food of your household, and the nourishment of your maidservants. Chapter 28. Forsake evil and follow righteousness. The wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are bold as a lion. Because of the transgression of a land, there are many princes, but by a man of understanding and knowledge, right will be prolonged. A poor man who oppresses the poor is like driving rain, which leaves no food. Those who forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. Evil men do not understand justice, but those who seek the Lord understand all. Better is the poor who walks in his integrity than one perverse in his ways, though he be rich. Whoever keeps the law is a discerning son, but a companion of gluttonous shames his father. One who increases his possession by usury and extortion gathers it for him who pity the poor. One who turns his ear away from hearing the law, even his prayer is an abomination. Whoever causes the upright to go astray in the evil way, he himself will fall into his own pit, but the blameless will inherit good. The rich man is wise in his own eyes, but the poor who has understanding searches him out. When the righteous rejoice, there is great glory. But when the wicked arise, the men hide themselves. He who covers his sin will not prosper, but he who confesses and forsakes him will have mercy. Happy is the man who is always reverent, but he who hardens his heart will fall into calamity. Like a roaring lion and the charging bear is a wicked ruler over poor people. A ruler who lacks understanding is a great oppressor. He who hates contentious will prolong his days. A man burdened with bloodshed will flee into a pit, let no one help him. Whoever walks blamelessly will be saved, but he who is perverse in his ways will suddenly fall. He who tilts his land will have plenty of bread, but he who follows frivolity will have poverty enough. A faithful man will abound with blessings, but he who hastens to be rich will not go unpunished. To show partiality is not good, because for a piece of bread a man will transgress. A man with an evil eye hastens after the riches and does not consider that poverty will come upon him. He who rebukes a man will find more favor afterward than he who flatters with the tongue. Whoever robs his father or his mother says it is no transgression. The same is a companion to a destroyer. He who is of a proud heart stirs up strife, but he who trusts in the Lord will be prospered. He who trusts in his own heart is a fool, but he who walks wisely will be delivered. He who gives to the poor will not lack, but he who hides his eyes will have many curses. When the wicked arise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase. Chapter 29. How to tell the wise from the foolish. He who was often rebuked and hardened his neck will suddenly be destroyed, that without remedy. When the righteous are in authority, people rejoice, but when the wicked man rules, the people groan. Whoever loves wisdom makes his father rejoice, but a companion of harlots wastes his wealth. The king established the land by justice, but he who receives bribes overthrow it. A man who flatters his neighbor spreads a net for his feet. By transgression, an evil man is snared, but the righteous sings and rejoices. The righteous considers the cause of the poor, but the wicked does not understand such knowledge. Scoffers set a city aflame, but wise men turn away wrath. If a wise man contends with a foolish man, whether the fool rages or laughs, there is no peace. The bloodthirsty hate the blameless, but the upright seek his well-being. A fool vents all his feelings, but a wise man holds them back. If a ruler pays attention to lies, all his servants become wicked. The poor man and the oppressor have this in common. The Lord gives light to the eyes of both. The king who judges the poor with truth, his throne shall be established forever. The rod and rebuke give wisdom, but a child left himself to bring shame to his mother. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increases, but the righteous will see their fall. Correct your son, he will give you rest. Yes, he will give delight to your soul. Where there is no revelation, the people cast off restraint, but happy is he who keeps the law. A servant will not be corrected by mere words, for though he understands, he will not respond. Do you see a man hasty in his words? There is more hope for a fool than for him. Be slow to speak. Slow to speak. He who pampers his servant from childhood will have him a son in the end. An angry man stirs up strife, and a furious man abounds in transgression. A man's pride will bring him low, but the humble in spirit will retain honor. Whoever is a partner with thief hates his own life. He swears to tell the truth, but reveals nothing. The fear of a man brings a snare, but whoever trusts the Lord shall be safe. Many seek the ruler's favor, but justice comes from the Lord. An unjust man is an abomination to the righteous, but he was upright in the ways of oh, whoa, Zay, calm down. An unjust man is an abomination to the righteous, and he was upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked. Okay, I'm like, how are they an abomination? No. Chapter 30, the reflections of Agar. In the words of Agar, the son of Jakeh, his utterance, this man declared to Ithiel of Ukal, surely I am more stupid than any man, and do not have any understanding of man. I neither learned wisdom nor have the knowledge of the Holy One. Who has ascended into heaven or descended? Who has gathered the wind in his fist? Who has bound the waters in his garment? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if you know? Every word of God is pure. He is a shield to those who put their trust in him. Do not add to his words, lest he rebuke you, and you be found a liar. Two things I request of you. Remove falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food allotted to me, lest I be full and deny you, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and profane the name of my God. Do not malign a servant to his master, lest he curse you and you be found guilty. There is a generation that curses its father and does not bless its mother. There is a generation that is pure in its own eyes, yet not washed from filthiness. There's a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. There's a generation whose teeth are like swords, and whose fangs are like knives, to devour the poor from off the earth, and the needy from among men. The leech has two daughters, give and give. There are three things that are never satisfied. Four never say enough. The grave, the barren womb, the earth that is not satisfied with water, and the fire never says enough. The eye that mocks his father, and the scorn of obedience his mother. The ravens of the valley will pick it out, and the young eagles will eat it. There are three things which are too wonderful for me. Yes, four which I do not understand. The way of an eagle in the air, the way of a serpent on a rock, the way of a ship in the midst of a sea, and the way of a man with a virgin. This is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth and says, I have done no wickedness. For three things the earth has perturbed. Yes, four things it cannot bear. For a servant when he reigns, a fool when he is filled with food, a hateful woman when she is married, and a maidservant who succeeds her mistress. There are four things which are little on earth, but they are exceedingly wise. The ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their food in the summer. The rock badgers are a feeble folk, yet they make their homes in the crags. The locusts have no king, yet they all advance in ranks. The spider skillfully grasps with his hands in the king's palaces. There are three things which are majestic in pace, yes, four which are stately in walk. A lion which is mighty among beasts and does not turn from any way, a greyhound, a male goat also, and a king whose troops are with him. If you have been foolish in exalting yourself, or if you have devised evil, put your hand on your mouth. For as the churning of milk produces butter, and a wringing of the nose produces blood, so forcing wrath produces strife. Chapter 31, the words of King Lemuel. The words of King Lemuel, the utterance which his mother taught him. What my son, and what son of my womb, and what son of my vows? Do not give your strength to women, nor your ways to which destroys kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel, It is not for the king to drink wine, nor for princes intoxicating drink, lest they drink and forget the law and pervert the justice of all the afflicted. Give strong drink to him who is perishing, and wine to those who are bitter of heart. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. Open your mouth for the speechless, and cause who are appointed to die. Open your mouth and judge righteously, and plead the cause for the poor and needy. The virtuous woman. Come on now. Who can find? Oh, this is Proverbs 31. This is the woman that everybody talk about. Let's see what she's talking about. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. She's like merchant ships. She brings food from afar. She also rises while it is still night and provides food for her household and a portion for her maidservants. She considers a field and buys it. For her profit, she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is good, and her lamp does not go out by night. She stretches her hand to the staff, and her hand holds the spindle. She extends her hand to the poor, yes, she reaches her hand to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all of her household is clothed with scarlet. She makes tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine in fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates. When he sits among the elders of the land, she makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies sashes for the merchants. Strength and honor are her clothing, so she shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is a law of kindness. I need to have the law of kindness on my tongue. She watches over the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, he praises her. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is passing, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands. Let her own works praise her in her gates. And that is today's reading. 22 minutes. It's not bad. Should we start Ecclesiastes? No, I already worked out. I need to get in the shower. So that is the reading for today. Tomorrow we're going to start Ecclesiastes at 5 o'clock Central Time. Any prayer requests? Prayer requests. Any of them. I'm going to give y'all like 30 seconds. What am I going to pray for? Some of the things that came up in Proverbs several times, there are some reoccurring things. The mouth, who you laying down with a wicked woman, people rejoicing at righteous leaders. Yeah, I'm gonna ask for the Lord to make me slow to speak. That's what I'm gonna ask for. All right. Okay, I don't see a prayer request, so I'm gonna pray, and then we're gonna go about our day. Lord, thank you so much for another day, God. Thank you so much for this time to sit with you, Lord. Lord, I just pray for my own encounter with you, God. I invite you into my space. I invite you into my brain and my mouth and my thoughts and my heart, into my house, God, into the car that I'm driving, into my job, Lord. I invite you in, God, and I just pray for my own experience with you, God. Lord, if there is a way that you want me to speak to you or to hear from you, I pray that you just show that to me. And God, I just pray that you just continuously be with me and to just guide me and to protect me, God. God, you are a protector, and I love you and I thank you, and I pray that you just continue to protect me. Lord, help me to be slow to speak, God. Help me to not be angry. Help me to not cause others to stumble, to fall into sin. But Lord, help me to be able to bring people to you and push people towards you. In your name I pray, amen. So I will see y'all tomorrow at 5. And we're going to start Ecclesiastes. Bye.